This is the ancient city of Tulum. It was used for many different things, such as studying the stars and the sky, and the planets, and the rotation of the planets, or also for sacrifices in war. There were many, many buildings and many different temples throughout the city. As you can see here, Tulum had some very beautiful architecture, such as this building the Mayans would enter and pray to the gods in. At the top of this building, you can see two red hands. Those are known as the signature of the architect. They also represent the upper world, or heaven, as some people would like to call it. There are also many other carvings in the side of the stone, such as a face, as you can see to your left here, and also the columns. As you can see, the people that built this weren't very tall. At the middle of the door there, you can see two little holes. Well, through those holes came the sunlight from the sunset and also the sunrise. In most buildings, they used limestone, for it was easy to carve and it was also very pliable. When they were done, they would cover the inside and out, all the cracks and creases and holes in the wall, with a thing called stucco. It was a very pliable, like cement, made out of sand, limestone, water, and cement itself. It was stones and rock. Right here, you can see a high priest's tomb. On the inside, there was actually the shape of a cross. The Mayans believed that if it was to face the sunrise and the sunset, that's where they would go to heaven to, and they would rise from the grave and into the upper world, or heaven. Also, you can see in that one building back there that the columns were very small, but the building was big itself. Back when the Mayans first had color on their temples, they used special flowers. As you will see here, the flower changes color with heat, which was used to cover the building, which some would be created blue and others yellow and some red as well, depending on the color of the flower. This flower would turn blue even though it was pink. When the Mayans found the color they wanted, they would cover the building by pasting or kind of like painting that special flower onto the side of the building. Here's another flower. It looks white, but really it turns yellow with heat. It was also used to color the side of a building or paint it. This is a priest or high priest house. Not very many people lived in the actual city besides the king, the queen, the high priests, the noblemen, and the very good architects that were loyal to the king. This temple here, up top, was used for sacrifices and also as a lighthouse. The two buildings on the side would have a torch in them, so that the Mayans, the people that went out fishing and to get supplies, would not crash into the rocks because they would be able to see the guidelines. See that little hole right up there? That's where a torch would be stuck, and it would serve as a light. When the Spaniards came and attacked the Mayans, they did not know where to go and they would crash into the rocks. Well, the Mayans would have the whole place figured out by then. Here's another view of the lighthouse slash sacrificing temple. It may look like it is huge, but for all the people that were there and all the resources, it wouldn't take that long, for there were about 100,000 people working on the temple, but they were not allowed to live in the city. They had to stay on the outskirts behind the walls. Here's another example of a priest's house. The one back there to the right would be a high priest's, and this one would be a regular priest's house. There is not much of a difference between the size and the length of the house. This building would also serve as a lighthouse, as well as a watchtower for the guards to stand in to protect the mines in the city and the outskirts. This is one of the entrances and exits that spread throughout the city's walls. The city had a huge walled fortress that was throughout the whole thing to protect them from invaders and attackers. This is a freshwater spring that came from an underground river. It is called a cenote. In Chichen Itza, another ancient Mayan city, they were used for torture as well, and people and also sacrificial items were thrown in there as a sacrifice to the gods. When you look closely, there's actually quite a bit of detail that the Mayans did. Though they didn't have a lot of resources and tools, for all their tools were made of stone, not one made of metal. Houses were also made out of different things, like straw and stone houses, which have had dome-type roofs, which I wasn't able to catch video of, but I did take some pictures of them. This concludes the virtual tour of Tulum. I hope you enjoyed it and have a nice day.